My brother-in-law once said, "You'll never afford a house on that salary," right up until I bought the one he was saving for. It all started 3 years ago at Thanksgiving. My sister had just married Mark, a finance guy who wore his income like a personality trait. During dinner, he asked what I did for work. I told him I was a teacher. He laughed. "Oh wow, that's rough. How do you even survive on that?" My sister nudged him under the table, but he kept going. "Seriously, you should think about getting a real job. Teaching is basically hobby income." I smiled and passed the potatoes. After that, every family gathering turned into the Mark show. He'd corner me with unsolicited advice about investments and crypto. He'd explain compound interest like I'd never taken math in my life. "If you'd gotten into real estate when I told you," he'd say, shaking his head, "but teachers never listen." My dad would change the subject. My sister would apologize later. Mark never stopped. Last Christmas, he announced he was buying his dream house, a Victorian in the historic district, original hardwood floors, wraparound porch. He passed his phone around the table, describing every detail of his future home office and wine cellar. "I'm waiting for my bonus in March," he said. "Then I'll put in an offer they can't refuse." He looked straight at me and smirked. "Of course, on a teacher's salary, you'll be renting forever. But hey, nothing wrong with that." What Mark didn't know was that I'd been planning for years. Every summer, I worked construction with my uncle. Every weekend, I tutored SAT prep for $80 an hour. I drove the same 2008 Civic while Mark bought a Tesla. I packed lunches while he posted Instagram stories from expensive restaurants. For 6 years, I lived in a studio apartment and saved 60% of everything I earned. I also never mentioned that my grandmother left me $80,000 when she passed, or that I invested it conservatively and grew it to $140,000. Why would I tell Mark? He'd only explain how I did it wrong. In February, I drove past Mark's dream house and saw the for sale sign. The listing said the sellers wanted a quick close. Cash buyers preferred. I called my real estate agent that night. By the time Mark's bonus hit in March, I'd already been living there for 2 weeks. My sister called me crying. "Mark is devastated. He's been talking about that house for months. How could you do this?" I reminded her that I'd made my offer weeks before Mark planned to. "But you knew he wanted it," she said. "You're my sister. You should have told me." I asked her if Mark had ever apologized for 6 years of condescending comments about my career and intelligence. "Silence. That's different," she finally said. "He was just trying to help." The following Saturday, Mark showed up at my door. "I'll buy it from you," he said. "Name your price." I told him I wasn't selling. "Come on," he pushed. "You can't even afford to maintain a house this size. The property taxes alone. I can afford it just fine," I cut in. "Thanks for your concern." His face turned red. "This is ridiculous. You're a teacher. I work in finance. This should be my house." I smiled. "Well, it's not. The best part, every Sunday, I drink coffee on my wraparound porch. And every Sunday, Mark drives past, slowing down just enough to stare at what could have been his. My sister says I'm being petty. Mom thinks I should sell it to keep the peace. Dad just laughs and asks if I need help with the garden. Last month, my sister and Mark announced they're moving to the suburbs. "We realized we want something more modern anyway," she said at dinner. Mark stayed quiet, pushing food around his plate. As they were leaving, he paused and said, "You know what? Good for you. I underestimated you." It almost sounded genuine. Almost. Then he added, "Just don't come crying to me when the foundation needs work." I'm still drinking coffee on my porch every Sunday, still teaching, and he's still driving past.